Hey! Hey, my name is Niall, and I'm back with another video, and today I'm here with another guest. Yay! I am here with my friend Emory, and today we're going to ask Emory a bunch of questions. In fact, I'm still working on a better title for this segment, but anyways, we're going to do questions with Emory. Alright, Emory, question number 1. Please tell us about yourself.
Sure. Well, hi, my name is Emory, as Niall just introduced me. And originally, I'm from the USA, good old US of A.
USA! Booster!
It's so good. And so I moved to Japan, or I should say relocated to Japan, promptly after graduating university. Yeah, after university.
You're like getting away from the student loan debt, isn't it?
You know, I didn't even think about that because since I went to school in state in Oklahoma,
Yeah.
my debt was really low comparatively
Yeah.
to like the average of my generation.
Yeah.
So no, like my debt was like under like I think $18,000 for 4 years.
I am defaulted on my loans, but I live here. So.
I am not. So I hope Biden comes through.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on Biden to come through. Seems like he has.
But if we can go back to the question.
Sure. Let's.
The reason why I have you on the show is because
Yes.
you're an artist. So can you tell us about your art as well?
Sure, let's get into that. So, going back to relocating after graduation, I studied fine arts in university. So once I came to Japan, I did what a lot of people do and took a few years to just teach English. Found out I really, really enjoyed teaching English and working with kids, especially early education. I worked my way all the way up for my resume there. I really took time and dedication, and then I realized I hadn't been creating. I really got off track, and so then that's when I switched into product design, away from teaching and education. As much as I liked it, I wanted something to complement my degree, honestly, because I'm like, again, back to student loans. Don't want to waste that money. don't want to waste that money, dude. So we did that, and so I also, aside from that, I knew I didn't want to do all work and no play. So I had my own fine arts brand, EAT Art, which is not Eat Art, but like since I got married.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Eat Art. No, it sounds trendier than it really is, so it's just my initials of my name. So from there, I focused mainly in painting, and yeah, I did do some watercolors and other things, on my time, but no, my brand is primarily acrylics, and then focused on mixing color, line, and motion, and working into the Japanese cultural, and it came up with the name Koma.
Yeah, her art is really dope though. In fact, I'm gonna put some screenshots up of it, I'm pretty sure right now. And we'll have links to more things in the bottom. But yeah, I'm really a fan of like the is it just all called Koma? That specific like project that you're doing, or a specific series?
So the thing with Koma, and the thing kind of base where it got its substance is well, first of all, I experimented with a lot of different things. I went with some 3D clay molding. I really love impasto. I wanted texture. I tried lots and lots of different things, honestly, but in the end it just kind of came down to I wasn't satisfied with what I was producing. And I think a lot of creatives can feel that way, where it's like it's so close but it's not quite there. Can I do better? I always feel the best when something's like 100% originally from my mind, but it's really hard to get that. I don't want outside influence.
Yeah.
But of course there's nothing wrong with outside influence.
Shut that out.
I know, it's a lot of artists put a lot of pressure on themselves. So when I came up with Koma, I really took some time off. I went to a cafe.
Okay.
I literally it came after a bad episode of having the flu. And so I was on the sofa with a high fever, and I was looking up around me, and I'm like, oh my God, I hate all my So I took it all down. And I went to the art shop, Sekaido in Shinjuku. And I don't even know. I was just kind of hoping for something to hit me. And it didn't. So I went to the Starbucks, and I just took 2 to 3 hours to research and think and reflect on what I wanted to do. And I came up with the lines, drip painting, okay. I like the colors, I like geometric. And then I came up with spinning art.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a throwback to a lot of art, traditional generational toy of the little spin art. The sprawls out like a little firework. But this one, it's very controlled, and I mean, it looks like the Japanese classic spin top toy, which is called the koma.
Yeah. Oh, no, hold up.
So, but because it's so like hypnotic and entrancing, then like people who don't speak Japanese will think it's koma with a C.
That's what I thought, it was koma with a C.
No, because my whole brand has kanji. Koma. So it's called the koma series. So I mean, it's a play on words because it puts you in a coma.
No, it's dope. I'm definitely like I said before, we'll put links to it down here. We might even have some screenshots over it while you're talking about it. But I'm a huge fan. I know we've been trying to collab for a while. I haven't had the time to.
True.
But yeah, I'm a huge fan of it. So,
Thank you.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, let's actually go on to the next question, which I think kind of ties into what you were saying before.
Oh yeah, yes please.
But please tell us about your creative process.
So with the Coma series, first of all and foremost, it comes down to a lot of like color research. And of course, with a lot of different art and creatives, it's like, what do I feel? What do I want to say? What do I want to convey? But honestly, for me, it comes down to like, what colors and color palettes are going to match up together to really, to get people's attention. Because the art itself is very commanding. It's very hypnotic. And it forces you to stop and look at it. So by making sure I have the correct color palettes and things in line, it can be, how should I say, more impactful and more powerful than say a random mix of colors. And a lot of artists have done like drip lines, colors, stripes and stuff, and it's very random. But I wanted mine to have more sequence. And honestly, it has more balance and harmony when the colors are like going together in a good palette. When it's been researched out, you can tell it's been thought out.
Can you like see that your background in fine art comes into play when you're thinking of the color palettes and things of that nature? Can you see like this the connection between that?
Absolutely. Like when you start studying art formally in like university and stuff too, what they don't tell you is it is very like scientific with a lot of things. So we had to take first of all, I had to take a 2D class in university.
What's a 2D class?
A 2D class comes down to a lot of things like line, shapes, composition. It's very base, and so you're getting the entire class, I think, was monochromatic. So it's like, because people go in thinking they already know how to do art and stuff. And it's true, you don't need formal education to produce things and make art. No. But if you're going to learn about these techniques, it's good to eliminate what you think you know and start like from the basics. So it's really taking it back.
I like that idea a lot. Yeah, because sometimes you can kind of hung up on what you think you know. So you can kind of strip that down and kind of rediscover it.
It's true. Well, a lot of people that I went to college with, I mean, they all came in kind of like gun-ho, like, well, this is what I know, this is how I'm going to do it, don't critique me, don't, judge me, this is how I feel, this is how I want to do it. And they did not continue on as artists. No, like a lot of art, you have to be open to reception because all art is subjective. So it's like, if you're getting caught up in your emotions for your piece, it's like, you just, you can't, it won't be received very well.
Amen. Yeah.
Like, you as a person will be connected to that artwork, and so you have to be open to these things.
I think that's hard. Like, even for me, like when I was like starting to produce music a bit more, it was very clear that I was growing and I wasn't where I needed to be yet, but I was still so emotionally invested in every piece I made. So if someone gave me like any type of type of constructive criticism that I would often ask for, I took it as like a reflection of myself. I took it upon myself, and I was like, "What do you mean it sucks? So you mean I suck?" So, yeah, I think.
No, I get that. But aside from like that, from taking it down to the basics of 2D, now we moved into colors, and it comes with a color theory class. So we go down to 2D to color theory. 3D is a class too, but it's more on the sculpture side for people who want to move into more 3D related artworks.
Well, what kind of things do you learn in the color theory class?
Color theory class, you just learn, we have to make a color wheel. First of all, you learn how to color mix, the science of color mixing, which is, we have a syllabus. So every time, like in college, like when we get together with like the homies and like play King's Cup or some or like Ring of Fire, and somebody would throw up the color category, man, I could never lose. Because I memorized my syllabus because I'm like, cadmium red, vermilion, yellow. Like I have to like put the, no, we already said red. No, you said red. I said cadmium.
Oh.
So yeah, I was just shit on people.
That's dope though.
No, it was fun, but you would I think in class one of the assignments was like only using the primary, so cadmium red, like yellow, and then the blue, and then you have to know the difference between like blue versus I don't even remember how to pronounce it, but it's like phthalo blue.
Okay.
Phthalo. So like regular like blues versus like cerulean blue versus phthalo blue. They can produce totally different colors. So phthalo blue is more like how should I put it? More tealy.
Okay.
They can put it more green blue. Like it can make some really vibrant like sky colors and stuff. But cerulean is like imagine like you can get it down to a lighter blue. So like if you put those colors next to each other, like if you mix in a light, it will totally like change the color dynamic. Yeah. Or if you take those primary blues and mix it with other colors.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really goes beyond what we learned in elementary school at this point.
Oh, definitely. I'm gonna leave mine alone.
No, it really does at this point. So it was kind of like because I think a lot of people are like, why the do I need a color class? Why would that? Like I know my colors. I know how to paint a rainbow. But no, it's really good to have that, and it taught me again to kind of step back and evaluate what colors go together and why there's a science behind that. Because like there's years and years of sciences behind like colors related to emotion. There's this, and I learned that a person's least favorite color. You know what it is?
No, what is it?
Like out of all the people in the world,
Is it orange? That's my least favorite color. I don't like orange.
It's in fact white.
I can see that, but is it because like it's the absence of color, so to speak, or because like it's too bland, or?
No, because it mimics yes and no, but it mimics a blank canvas.
Okay.
It just it's the absence of like creative thought and creativity. So it could be really intimidating to people to just give them white. And also white is like stressful, because I guess that's why like I don't know. It's associated with mental hospitals too, right?
Yeah, it feels
clean,
very institutional.
And like institutional, controlled.
Yeah. And also colonization. Let me stop.
No, I was like, go into the racism.
But yeah.
Go into the systematic racism.
Well, with that all being said, let's actually go on to the next question now, because you have all this information. So with like all this information about different colors and you know breaking down the basics of art.
Sure.
So when it's time for you to create, what do you need to have in order to be creative? Like, do you need to have a comfortable place to create? Do you need to have a certain drink, comfy socks? I don't know, certain paintbrush. Like, what do you have to have in order to like really be creative?
Honestly, motivation to get off my ass. Like, that's the thing is it kind of like I think Yayoi Kusama said that like there was like a necessity to create inside of her, and if she didn't like release creative energy, it was just building up inside of her and causing her stress or something. I don't know the exact quote, but it was something along those lines of like getting out and creating made her feel better. And so I have the same condition. And so like if I don't create for a while, I feel physically guilty. Yeah, it's like a buildup, dude. And I'm like, I'm dropping the ball. It's this. I guess it's like the eternal like curse of an artist. Is like you have to be creative all the time, or people expect creativity from you all the time. And I mean, not obviously in a grand way. It doesn't have to be even in your niche or your medium. It could be like, oh well, I have this birthday party for like Jiminy Cricket coming up, and like I was wondering, could you like make the cake or something, or like could you do this like balloon animal thing? And it's like people always kind of like. You're the go-to creative individual in the group, and of course,
that's why I don't have friends.
aside from that, not on a negative note, of course, but aside from that, it just kind of gets down to me making a plan to create. It's like, okay, I want to be able to like schedule myself out. Now, I'm not a horribly scheduled person anyway, but it's just like, okay, well, I'm going to make time to create this in here, and if I plan this, then if I have a show coming up or private viewing or something exclusive coming up, then I can, I need to go to the store, make sure I have those things sourced so I can start to create from here to here. So it's really just about making a plan. Because I feel like if I have a plan or I'm thinking ahead, then I don't feel like I'm behind on like getting the creative process started. Now, as far as space, it's Japan. I always could use space. It's a commodity we don't have when we live in like around major cities.
What would be like your ideal space in your house? Like to be creative, like would you have like a certain type of desk? Would you have like a certain type of easel? Would you have like a extra room? Or...
Well, for me, it literally comes down to an extra room.
Okay.
I think I'm spinning either in the bedroom or like the living room right now.
Yeah.
And it's fine if they're like this big, but when they get like this big, which I do.
Some of the massive ones.
Some are huge, so I'm like, okay, like, it's fine. But because, like, my pieces are so calculated and centered, if somebody walks past that because you have to put it flat and bumps it, and I've already worked on it, it's never happened.
Okay.
God bless, it's never happened. It's never happened. But if it gets down to that, for example, then, that would be, like, hours of work lost. So, like, that would be a nightmare. So having just an extra room, that would be, like, where I don't have to worry about getting bumped by someone walking past it.
Yeah.
Which I secure it pretty hard too, to preventative action.
You have to for the peace of mind.
You have to for the peace of mind. But no, I would like some elbow room to, because it's a circumference. I have to be able to move around it or spin it. So like, it would be nice. But other than that, good music. I'll put like some bullshit show on in the background. There's some like trash reality TV.
Yeah.
Or like some like Rick and Morty sometimes.
Actually, that I want to touch on that a bit because like when I write music, I can't ever have like anything on TV except for like like relaxing, raining atmosphere on YouTube. Like I can't watch something because I might because I have to use my ears for music though.
Well, yeah, for you, you're having to use your ears. For me,
eyes.
I'm having to use my eyes.
Yeah.
And my brain obviously because I have to like calculate out where am I going to do this. So having something in the background is really like helpful and useful.
Yeah. What about drinks and stuff? Like, do you have to? Because I like to drink hot water with lemon and like honey when I'm working on stuff, or like non-alcoholic beers when I'm working on stuff. But what about you? Do you have like a go-to drink?
I don't really have a go-to drink. It just depends on my mood before I'm getting ready to start the creative process. So, for example, if I am kind of deviating earlier to having coffee now, because my creative space it requires like a lot of spatial area, so I don't really have like room to set down a drink near me, so the drink has to be over there on a different table, for example.
I see.
So unfortunately for me, it's just like I could go over there and drink, and then the coffee's cold or the tea's cold, then I gotta go back to the microwave, and then I forgot it's in the microwave because I'm like in the middle of painting, and then it's kind of
interrupt your flow.
It's that that circle, pun intended. It's that circular process every time. So but like I try to wake up with some like tea or coffee usually, and then I'm like, okay, I have some free time. I'll put on a trashy TV show and like paint a little bit, and then if I just want to take a break and have a step back so I don't like muddy the colors or because I have to stack and layer things, so I have to take breaks. So when I do take breaks, then I'm like, okay, this is my like drink time, my downtime a little bit. But while I'm working, no, I can't. So then I also have to make sure I don't get dehydrated.
That's fair. And speaking of breaks as well, so the more I've been talking to like other friends and my family about this process, I started realizing the importance of like clothing for creating.
I actually think when I'm recording like singing, I want to be in nice clothes.
And like like for me, I never really thought about too much, but like I think I was interviewing my friend Bina, and we broke down like the difference between like our recording clothes and our like editing clothes, even though we're both at home doing it. It's like when I'm recording, I kind of dress like how I would dress on stage.
Okay.
But when I'm actually like editing videos, editing songs, I'm a bit more like hoodies and sweatpants and stuff.
True.
So I reckon for like when you're creating something, I reckon it takes quite a bit of time, and you're in that one space. Do you have to have, I don't know, for example, like do you find yourself you're like, I need to wear something super comfortable for this, or do you try to wear something that like inspires you to create? Like what kind of clothing do you think like enables you to be the best creative version of yourself?
That's a good question. Well, honestly, it so fun little side story here. In university, I had a professor. She was my drawing professor, and she always she was from Cyprus. So she was always dressed really cute. And like she'd always wear cute heels too, and skirts and stuff. So I was in the whole like living with a lot of Japanese friends. So like when they left Japan, I got their clothes too.
Yeah.
Score. And so I got cute heels and skirts too, because I'm like, oh, I want to be kawaii before I moved here, and I'm like, I don't want to be kawaii anymore. I don't want to do it anymore.
It's a lot of work.
It hurts.
It hurts.
That kawaii life. It hurts. So So like I would come in and I'm in my like prime feminine cutiness in college. So every time like the other like students would make like that were like hardcore like in their major, not just taking a class because they like drawing or painting. So if they would hear heels, they would always guess it was me or the professor because we're the only ones who would wear heels. Everyone else dressed like a typical art student, sneakers, pants, and like they would like, I'm going to my next class. Like, I think that's oil paint on my like because we had aprons, but
that's such an aesthetic though.
It's such an aesthetic. It's like it's almost pre and post hipster at the same time, dude. It's like it's like you knew you were an art student. But I liked my clothes so much, and also like I didn't want to mess up the clothes that like I got from like friends and things who went back to Japan. So I felt like okay, I would wear an apron if I was like painting, because I mean I don't even like painting class, honestly. Like it's just I'm too ADD to just stand there and paint something for like 3 hours. No, I can't. Like I need to be on like my schedule. I need to be able to leave and like I don't.
That makes sense though. Yeah.
I don't want to be on like the
Someone
class
else's
schedule.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make me creative. That's just like I'm painting this fruit bowl, dude. Like is that a highlight on the peach? I don't know. I don't want to make this. It's not what I want to do. Even if it's my own sample picture. So I would never get dirty. So I don't know if that's a flex or not, but like I would always, because I wanted to take care of my clothes. Yeah. So I really created carefully.
But what about now when you're creating it?
Same thing. Same thing. I just I mean I try to wear like indoor clothes, but like if I God forbid get something on me, which the paint's really controlled anyway. It's not like I'm like Jackson Pollocking up like my living room, dude, because it's too small anyway. I don't want stuff on my stuff. Yeah. I'm like oh no. I like clean and organized aesthetics. So for me, I'm just like, if I get something on me, I just go wash it off, and it's acrylic, so it doesn't stain or anything. So, no, I've been really fortunate to like, remain clean, but there's not a particular outfit on like maybe loungy clothes that I care a little less about if they get a speck of paint on.
That makes sense though.
But no, I'm not, I never have been, just, whatever I'm wearing. That's not pajamas, because I don't want to wear pajamas when I'm painting, because if I get paint in the bed, then I think that little thing, like anal retention thing, it bugs me. I can't.
That's fair. No, because I hadn't ever thought about that. But like, if you're working with paint and stuff, definitely you want to actually like protect your clothes as well.
I mean, there's some. No, it's true. Yeah. There's some people who make it their aesthetic to wipe their brushes on their damn jeans. Like they have painting overalls, and they're like, like they get into it, and so like, hey, it makes for dope pictures. Yeah. But like. You're not one of them. No, I have a paper towel. So I'm just, I don't know if that's like a sensory thing for me, but I'm like, ooh, no.
No, I feel that. All right, well, let's go on to the next question.
Sure.
All right, number 4. What can hinder your creative process?
Ooh, I think for me, it's just like an overwhelmed schedule.
Okay.
And also, as I mentioned before, being on someone else's schedule of like what they want, what they need. I don't like commission work because I feel like now it puts an expectation on me. Yeah. And commission work, like artists make a lot of money from commission work, and it's really, really great work. But I mean, like, there's 2 types of artists who do commission work and don't. I feel like the ones who don't think they're like, I'm too good for that. Like, you buy what I make. I don't want suggestions from you. Which honestly, I don't mind. I'm the friend who will decorate the cake. And I love doing those things because aside from like my main creative, I like to like put my creative energy here and there.
That's fair.
It really helps me kind of like release extra energy instead of like I haven't done anything creative. So like having like this and that and having like a creative job like as a product designer, I'm like, oh yeah. Then I'm always like doing little tidbits of creative like somethings. So so from that, really like having somebody who's putting serious money behind you and asking for things. And I have done commission art for friends whom I trust and who I'm like, okay, like I know you won't like, come back on me. But I have also done like creative favors, I guess, in the past for friends. Yeah. And it's come back on me so negatively. So I think that's just kind of like semi-traumatized me to be like, you know what? I don't need commissions because, well, first of all, I don't really want strangers asking because I'm like, I don't want it to come back on me. Who knows? In the future, I might think differently. I might feel differently. But right now, that can really like mess with my creative process. Because honestly, I create for myself. I don't create for
Exactly.
anyone else. I create because it makes me feel good, and it's something I can release into the world and be like, okay, I made this.
I'm right there with you.
So
Like,
I don't need outside input in the fact of like controlling what I create.
yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, I don't produce beats for people. Like, I just don't do that. And like, last year I did like a little mini like fashion film. That was kind of cool. But like, I did sound design for that, right?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Never again. Like, it was a cool process, but I'd never want to do it again.
I understand. I like it when my like good like inner circle or like friends that I've known reach out and you're like, oh, like my friend just reached out and asked me to paint candle lids for her.
Yeah.
For her like design festa. And she's like, whatever you want to do, I'm 100% behind it.
Okay,
and so like I know from her because she's like she makes like spends hours on making these awesome candles. Because I bought a few of them.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, I know that she like can respect like a creative process. So putting my creative energy to help out people, I totally don't mind. But no, I'm just like, now I'm realizing that I'm just doing a very kind of condensed and really like restricting kind of my creative energy with my Coma brand. And I think that's good because like I can narrow in focus, like I can help my friends when I want, I can do creative favors here and there, but I think that's probably the most uninspiring thing is like having that like pressure of like commissions and like possible from outside people.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. And then you've got all these pieces that you've made just floating out there in the world that you're not in control of.
Well, it's really it's not good if you're kind of like really protective and serious about your brand. Then it's the same with your energy, like we were talking about earlier. You really gotta like who you're around, narrow in, close in that circle. Pun intended.
Hey.
So like really gotta like protect your energy, protect your brand, and I think it's necessary.
Yeah, amen. Bars, bro. Well, let's continue on with this. Speaking of creativity, question number 5: how do you deal with a block in creativity?
I think how I deal with blocks in creativity, I think it goes back to the prior question as well. It's just making a schedule. And doing my research. And once I see kind of colors, and once I get ideas, I immediately get inspired. So like honestly, the only time I don't really have blocks. I just have low energy periods where I'm like, I'm so busy, I'm swamped, I don't have time to do this, I don't know when I can do this, but I need to do this. And that also helps me like feel like I'm not motivated to create too. So it's just, again, it's going back to having that plan.
Okay.
And that's always really prevented blocks. Because I'm like, okay, I can get excited, I can get inspired about stuff. Stepping away is important.
Yeah.
For anything and everything.
You have
being
fresh
able to step away.
eyes, fresh ears.
Like, you could be in the middle of designing or creating something. It could be pre-creating process. It doesn't matter. Stepping away and being like, okay, I made something, I made this piece. Or like, oh, I've worked on this. Okay, take a break. Because if you're hounding on it, it tends to just, if it's stressing you out and not coming out the way you want, that's when you know it's like a huge like alarm inside of you where it's like you got to step away so you can come back with a new perspective, fresh eyes, as you said. And that's
For you, how do you know when it's time to step away? Like, does it vary on project? Is it like a feeling that you get?
It's definitely a feeling, and I think it varies on projects a lot. I think it really comes down to just that inner thing of like, it's a little bit of frustration and confusion, and you're like, it's not doing what I want it to do. Sometimes I'll ask my husband too, like, come and look at this. Should I do this and this? And sometimes he'll have an opinion. Sometimes I don't like his opinion, but I asked for it, so I'm like, yeah, I guess so. But taking a step away. Yeah. In university, they always said that art goes through the awkward phase.
Oh, definitely.
Where you're like, oh, I don't know where this is going. I don't know if I like this. Should I continue? So what our professors always said is expect this phase and also take it physically off the easel, turn it around, or turn the easel around, and walk away for as long as you need. And then when you come back, you're ready to go at it again with like a better angle usually.
No, I feel that. Like, I usually, when I get like really stressed out, I usually just put my computer to sleep. But I want to talk about the husband thing, because like,
sure.
I feel like if you get married to a creative, you will be like the first person that they ask for references and like ideas. My poor wife will always be like, hey, can I borrow your ears? yeah, okay, come listen to this. What do you think? And then she's like, this shit sucks. I'm like, what do you mean it sucks? Or like, she tells me it's good. That's even worse. I'm like, what's good about it? Like, what part do you like? So yeah, I feel bad for creative spouses. Like,
well, it's weird because like my
spouses
husband's
of creative people. Yeah,
it is true.
Yeah.
Spouses of creative people. But I feel like with my husband, he has his own creative field too as an actor. So he asked me for like, not necessarily advice on acting, but he'll kind of like de-stress or like explain or like ask for questions. Or actually on a movie he did recently, he asked me to help him with the English support
that's
and
cool.
like the intonation.
Yeah.
And then he turned out to be like the best English speaker
Hey.
on that like song or something they were doing.
Hey,
So-
Joseph.
Cordials in there. So that was really cool. So it's kind of like we could support each other because I like my husband's perspective on things.
Yeah.
And he 100% always helpful and supportive of my art brand. So
Yeah.
I mean
That's important.
that's important, especially when you have like massive pieces and you have shows and stuff. And having a supportive spouse is everything.
Oh my goodness. Like, if you are ever thinking about marrying a creative person, know that you're signing up to be the support person.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
100% you are.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, last question, and this is actually my favorite question of the lot too. So let me get my announcer voice ready for this question. What would be your ideal creative retreat?
God.
It doesn't have to be a specific location, but like maybe what kind of vibes would you want? And then I am gonna ask you for a location as well. So
Sure.
heads up.
Honestly, this is a fantastic question that like never gets asked. Like I would have never like thought of asking this or getting asked this. So I don't know. I guess like it's very cliche to say a beach or something, but honestly, it doesn't need to be a specific place. It just needs to be a time. For me, that's a retreat, is being able to, again...
Let's break down the time though. So like, it has to be a certain time of day or like a certain time in your life?
So I don't know, it's hard because I feel like I'm most creative in the morning when I'm fresh because I feel like I'm a morning person. But then in the morning, I can find myself getting distracted and lost with other things, or like on a phone call with my mom maybe, or like just like handling other business if I'm working remote, for example. And then if my husband's around, I'm 100% distracted. So it can't be when my husband's
Her
around.
husband's fun as fuck though. So even I would be distracted too. I'd be like, oh, hey, what up? So what you want to do today?
So, no, like because my husband's so busy with work and
Yeah.
acting and everything. So we never get time together.
Yeah.
So like when he's done with work and I don't want to like create, I don't want to put energy towards that. It's like let's just hang out. Let's watch The Crocodile Hunter on a Saturday morning. I have made him do it.
Yeah.
So for example, like there's just factors in play, I think, when it comes to creative retreat, because honestly, anytime I'm away, like from home, like away, then I'm like, I should really get back and like do that, or like I start thinking creatively, like, when I get home, I should do that, or that's really cool. But like because I'm just away from like my zone, my space, my stuff, so I'm welcoming new ideas. So really, it's not a place per se. It's a time, because if I'm able to just step away and then I can get to thinking about creative, if I need to foresee what I have coming up in the next year, do I need to make things? When do I need to make things? So a retreat for me would just be, not creating for a while.
Yeah. Okay.
Period.
Wait, hold on. All right. I love this answer, but
No,
Wait,
it's
but
really complicated because
okay.
I couldn't say like a mountaintop, because honestly that's a retreat period, okay?
Well, okay, but for the sake of this question, though,
Okay.
let's break it down. So, like,
Okay,
let's
okay.
build your perfect creative retreat.
Sure.
So, like, let's say it could be maybe 2 weeks maximum.
Okay.
You can have space for all of your
Okay.
equipment that you need to do.
Sure. Oh,
Your
okay,
husband can
okay,
come
okay.
visit.
Okay.
No one has to
Okay.
work, anything like that.
That's very true.
What would be like your your ideal like physical location or your dream, whatever, your best scenario to produce, like, let's say you produce 2 pieces within this 2-week frame. What would be like the best ideal scenario?
I
for you?
swear to God, I don't have one. It's all in my mind. Because if I'm in I love traveling and like being locked in Japan for 4 years. Technically 3,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I thought I'd have time, so 4 years I didn't necessarily leave. So like being locked in that, it just really like isolated me. And so like I did get a lot done because I was isolated. So if I'm put into a new place, I'm gonna do everything but create because I want to absorb and explore and experience. To me, that's like the best creative energy, not actually physically creating something.
So it's more like internal and mental.
It's internal. It's like, it's really absorbing because I'm like, oh, those colors are dope. I might even take a picture. So if I'm going somewhere, I don't need like how should I say, like an art residency in a certain location, or I don't need certain circumstances. But yeah, if I'm at a new place and I'm like, oh, that could be nice. But on the same thing, I can also go to Google and get those like colors. No, and get those colors and color schemes, pull images. So if I'm in a separate place, I'm gonna just want to like physically absorb it. I'm not gonna be worried about creating it all until after I return.
So I guess for you, it's more like you go out, you download a bunch of inspiration, and then come back, and then you can upload it to your art. That's really
what
cool.
It is.
That's really cool. I think that might be the most original answer I've had for this question.
I swear, I want to go out and experience, dude, because all of my experiences and color is all over the world, all around us, in this room, out around the city. It's everywhere. So like creating art that's like, that is Koma. And it's just about having experiences, and what keeps myself healthy is going out, getting fresh experiences, taking care of my mental and physical health. And then from there, it doesn't matter. It's not a retreat to me. It's just like time off is like gives me a chance to recharge, and so I can go back at it. I don't need a specific place. No.
That's really cool. All right. Well, thank you very much. Yeah. All right. Well, that has been our interview questions with Emory. Now we have another video coming up. Whether it's before this or after this, I'm not sure yet. We're going to do the 7 questions plus 1. So stay tuned for that. And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. And please think about subscribing. I know, I'm guilty of it too. Most people on YouTube, they watch videos, they don't subscribe. But it's at least consider it for me. Thank you very much. And alright, see you in the next video. Haha. Oh, one thing, before I forget, we'll put all the links for Emory's art. I said it, this is like the 3rd time I've said it, but like, talking about it so much, I want to see it again too. So hopefully you feel the same way. So we'll have links for everything down below too. Alright, bye-bye.